What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Today we will be comparing V3X versus the Phase 4, or Octo as we like to call it, because it's got 8 limbs. Paint it purple and call it an octopus.
Because if I stay here, I'm going to get released back to the ocean.
Both of these bows, like the riser design on them is almost identical. What I found shooting them though, I found that the Phase 4 was a little bit smoother. Not by a crazy amount, but just enough to notice it. We have identical sights on it, identical stabilizers. The rest are slightly different. One's Q80, one's Hamsky, so nothing drastically different. I'm gonna run 15 arrows through each of them, but that's just a shooting comparison. Really, the only thing that they changed was they basically just put a piece of rubber in between the limbs. They basically cut the limbs in half, threw a piece of rubber into it. The other part that they added was the bridge lock stabilizers, but I will never run that, so to me that wasn't life-changing. Literally, I mean, just look at the bow side by side. They're literally identical. There's almost nothing that's different, other than the MSRP on this bow is $1,550 Canadian. The MSRP on this bow is $1,750 Canadian. So part of this is also kind of, is it worth the extra $200? Is it actually an upgrade? You know, is it actually going to help you out enough that it'll make a difference? So, first impressions. I lost my release. Alright, so a lot of what I'm feeling, like there was no hand shot out of the Phase 4. There was absolutely none. I wouldn't have said that there was anything there. It just felt like you shot and you almost didn't know that you shot because it's so quiet as well. Now, I've already run, this bow has been through a lot in its life. It's got things it needs counseling for. It went to Africa, so it was crazy hot in the blind, and then it came back to Canada where it was like -36 is when I shot my buck. And that's part of why I'm a little concerned about these split limbs, having that rubber in between, just because I'm going really hot to really cold all the time. So with it expanding and contracting, will it actually do anything to the limbs? I'm a little skeptical of that so far, but that'll be interesting to test out a little bit. So I also think, whether it's true or not, I think the riser on the Phase 4 might be just a hair longer. Might actually just, we'll just test this. So, I'm seeing identical basically. They're literally an identical bow. They're like the twin of each other. So, I mean, the riser on the Phase 4 feels longer though. Like it just feels like it's a little bit longer. Maybe that's just part of the technology. Maybe it's because the limbs are wider. I don't know. But I would have said stability-wise, like yes, I'm running stabilizers, so that will affect it a lot. But even without the stabilizers on it, I would say stability-wise, the Phase 4 might be a little bit more stable, holds just a little bit more solid. I mean, really, this was the shot out of the Phase 4, this was the shot out of the V3, or V3X. So both of them are just fine as shots. Having shot both of them, they both shoot really well. So, I mean, from model to model, I don't really think there's going to be a huge accuracy difference. But we tried chronographing it. Our chronograph is kind of being glitchy right now. Yeah, I mean, both bows, it took me like 3, maybe 4 arrows to set them up. Just for tuning wise, Mathews has always been very, very easy to tune. But comparing the two bows is kind of difficult because it's like they're just 1 year to the next. Very little, like I think this has been the least amount of change in any individual bow that's ever happened. But I'll be interested to see if they actually keep the split limb technology next year, because see how many problems or whatever, if they've had any problems with them. I know I was listening to Levi Morgan. He said that the Phase 4 was the first bow that he's ever gone back to Mathews and was like, hey, I think something's wrong with it. Turned out that there wasn't anything, but he just was a little scared of something on it. He didn't specify what, but really, would I say it's worth to upgrade? I don't know. It's kind of like buying the same bow 2 years in a row. Is it a little bit quieter? Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit quieter. Is it a little smoother? Yeah, I'd say it's just a little bit smoother. But really, I'd say you're just about buying an identical bow as last year. So, is it yes or no? I'd probably give it a no. That being said, I haven't tested it a whole pile, so I mean, we'll see what it does this year and how it handles the hot and cold. But yeah, thank you for watching. Just remember to like, subscribe. And what's your opinion? Have you shot them both? And did you find that it was worth it for you? I'm excited to use this thing, actually.